have no doubt about that. And we're going to implement it as quickly as possible. We've got a joint committee that is now working on the modalities, working on everything that needs to happen to ensure that our judiciary, as an independent arm of the state, executes its role without any hindrance, with all the empowerment, as it were, from a financial point of view, administrative point of view, infrastructure control point of view. Its own independence as an entity has always been secured. It's just been the support that it needs from government that we are now putting in place. So there's never been anything unseemly about it. It's just been to ensure that we work on the modalities. And I do believe that with the work of the minister, working together with the Chief Justice, we are there, and it will be done shortly.
Mr. President, speaking on access to justice, a key feature of that is the work of the National Prosecuting Authority. How many cases must the NPA bungle, according to public perception, before you step in and investigate the claims of infiltration and whether the NPA can effectively perform its functions?
My apologies. There are certain questions when you ask the Chief Justice can be here.
Yes.
Okay.
So please be cautious.
Now,
if there's anything about here so that she stays and then she can move, there is separation, so don't compromise.
On the NPA regarding,
when she's done.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Please finish here.
Today we are celebrating 30 years of the existence of our Constitutional Court. Have a heart and celebrate with us.
We asked the Chief Justice how she feels about the independence issue, because I think you even addressed it in your speech about the importance of this. This is a momentous day for the judiciary.
It is. It's been a long, long time coming, as you pointed out when you questioned the... No, I'm looking at the person I'm responding. I'm not going to look at the cameras. So we're quite happy, naturally, about this development. It was emphasized that the rendering of the judiciary to be fully independent would happen in 2 stages. The first one starting in 2013 with the establishment of the Office of the Chief Justice. And it was anticipated that the finalization of the process would take place soon thereafter. But it's dragged and dragged for well over a decade. But, well, it's never too late to do the right thing. Here we are now, and moves are afoot. There is, as the President pointed out, there is already a joint committee in place, and we are working on the modalities of carrying this forward. And the judiciary, as it stated at its conference in December 2023, is in a hurry to attain its full independence, its institutional independence. So we are not going to allow the President and his team to delay the process.
Can you touch?
Mr. President, the main issue halting this process had been finances and money. What assurances did you give the judiciary, given the fact that your finance minister has conceded that money is getting tighter and tighter?
Well, money is getting tighter and tighter because our fiscal situation is challenged with the lackluster growth of our economy. So the revenues that come into government are becoming slimmer and slimmer. However, we do need to empower various arms of the state. Parliament is one, the judiciary is one, and the executive, of course, plays a leading role of the arms of the state. So money will be made available, and of course, to the extent that we are able to mobilize the resources as we grow the economy, the judiciary will have the money and they will be in control, just as Parliament is in control of its own budget. They will be able to embark on infrastructure projects, administrative capability, training, and all those without having to always go and ask for permission from the Minister of Justice. But I need to say that the Minister of Justice and the Chief Justice are the ones who have actually moved the needle on this matter. So if you have to pay any tribute to anyone is these two ladies who've really moved mountains. Having said that, former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo sought to have this put in place. And I think the foundation and the framework was set in place, as Chief Justice is saying, from 2013, and it was consolidated during Chief Justice Zondo's time, and it's now been put in place during Chief Justice Maya's time.
Last question, Mule.
One last question for you. Mr. President, we're obviously in a very tenuous time in sort of geopolitical history. We see that the President of the United States is mulling possibly joining Israel in their war on Iran. What is your perspective on that? I mean, I know you must be exhausted having come from the G7, but clearly this is a significant time, and what is your views on what could and should happen here?
Well, the world has become a very dangerous place now, with all these conflicts that are flaring up into the destruction of infrastructure and loss of life. And we want to continue calling on all actors that dialogue, peacemaking is the only way in which to solve problems. The disputes that arise in various parts of the country, including the dispute between Israel and Iran now, should be solved through dialogue. And we say that it must happen immediately without resorting to further airstrikes, to further bombs. Lives are being lost, and it is actually having a devastating blow on the economies of the world, because there's now uncertainty and prices are beginning to rise. We are already suffering from price rises in our fuel, because as the conflict is raging in that part of the world, fuel becomes more expensive, which we import at great cost. So we want the conflict to come to an end.
Okay, last question.
Mr. President, are you looking at having a telephonic conversation with one of the heads of states from Israel or Iran soon, anytime soon?
Well,
Mr. President, can I request, with due respect, the Chief Justice is the host. So she's now standing aside because of no longer within the bounds of the celebration. Now, being hosted as the President, it doesn't look good. I'm appealing.
It's okay.
Yeah, you can find me tonight
on the
when I
sideline
finish.
because she
Why
can't
don't
be
you
in the
come
vicinity of
and
the
grab me?
cameras.
Thank you, Mr. President. Spongi. We got something.
Thank you.
All right, those were live visuals there from the Constitutional Court's commemorative event. The President committing to the media that at least they'll get an opportunity to speak to him later on in the day. But as you saw there, all arms of the state being represented. That's the executive, the legislature, as well as the judiciary, which is the host, as we've seen there. Chief Justice Mandisa Maya there. Among the questions from the media, one dominating is financial support for the judiciary. And of course, the President there committing that as and when resources are further mobilized, they will most certainly be allocated to the judiciary to ease them in the work that they need to do, all important work to ensure there's access to justice.